Limbix as a company is based out of Silicon Valley, and we are now speaking about FDA and guidelines, and generally the European Medical Agency has also followed these guidelines as well, and has published, not following, but has published its own, but they're quite similar to what FDA has published as well. So, but I know that you're originally from Spain. So I was wondering, what is the difference between States and Europe when it comes to adoption of new technologies, new solutions? Do you see any difference in the first place? And do you think that will change?
There's absolutely a huge difference in how healthcare is approached in the US to how it is approached in Europe. In the US, you know, with it all being private healthcare,
yeah,
I think the fact that some of the top hospitals are driving towards value-based care, where, you know, you get paid for the savings that you're generating to the system, rather than a capitated system. That's actually having a huge impact on the adoption of technologies. And I think that Europe will follow, because it always does, you know, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
And it does make sense. I'm a doctor. I want, you know, and I have 15 minutes per patient. I'm just making these figures up, by the way.
It's like that.
Yeah, but I think it's, you know, it's more or less like I don't have
less than 15 minutes, actually.
I didn't want to misrepresent. So if I'm a doctor and I have 15 minutes to be with my patient, why wouldn't I want to be able to, you know, obviously bearing in mind privacy and, you know, all of the, you know, data protection laws that are part of our current context. Why wouldn't I want to be able to use a recording machine that, with, you know, artificial intelligence algorithms, allows me to actually focus on my patient during the most of those minutes, rather than having to find their records, look at the history, and so on. You know, I believe that doctors probably feel frustrated because they're like, you know, we're overworked and I don't have enough time. So why would, you know, I'm sure they'd be delighted to adopt new technologies, and there's some, you know, speech recognition tools that are fantastic work, or image recognition tools.
Yeah, I'm listening to you. Yeah, I'm listening to you, but at the same time, I had multiple conversations on the topic, and I'm very much optimist as well. However, I have to say that when it comes to adopting something new, whatever it is, technology to medical device, there is always this barrier, oh, that's something new. And actually this barrier, maybe in terms of timeline, it takes longer to overcome than the time that you're going to spend on learning the new thing. So I think that the current situation and the lack of innovation in healthcare in the last couple of years, it's not just thanks to regulations and not being more, let's say, adaptive to new opportunities and new technologies, but also thanks to the fact that doctors and hospitals were sticking to their normal routine, to their habits, especially key opinion leaders that are usually the senior leaders in medicine, trying to make new, younger doctors to do what they are used to doing and not being out there innovative, thinking out of the box. I think that will change now as well. I really think that the crisis really showed them the need, the urgency of changing things, changing the status quo, because now they're at risk as well. And the people that are on the front line at risk for their health, and the people that are not on the front line, like GPs, at risk of losing their job, their business, not job, but the way they're making money. So they need to be to start thinking out of the box and start adopting these things, no matter what the regulations are, and maybe even be this driving force to changing regulations instead of waiting for regulations to change.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that's one of the, you know, people ask me, you know, what is it that Limbix got right? And one of the things Limbix got right was get research done quick and early, have doctors on board. Like, that's another of the things. The team is very strong in, you know, scientists of mental health, so PhDs in neuroscience, psychiatry, psychology, and then obviously getting partnerships in place with those who do want to defy the status quo and want to try new things. You know, and this is what we do from the Barcelona office as well, is just getting new partnerships in place throughout different countries outside of the US and Canada that are willing to prove that this is a global solution and not just a US only